The homeless man who rebuilt his fortune, a tale of humility and wisdom. When we last left this story, the millionaire had lost everything: his business, his wealth, his reputation. The man who once lived in a mansion was now sleeping on sidewalks. The friends who once admired him had disappeared. The partners who once trusted him had moved on. And the man who once believed he could never fail had finally reached the place he feared the most: rock bottom. But here is something most people do not understand about rock bottom. It can destroy a man, or it can rebuild him. And the homeless man sitting on that cold sidewalk that night was about to begin learning the lessons that would change his life forever. The hardest part about losing everything is not the money. It is the moment when a man finally realizes he is responsible for the life he created. For the first time in many years, the man had nothing left to blame. Not his partners, not the economy, not bad luck, only himself. Tell me something. When life strips away everything you once relied on, who do you become? The man sitting on that sidewalk had two choices. He could remain the victim of his past, or he could become the student of it. The rebuilding of a life rarely begins with something dramatic. It usually begins with something small. For the man in this story, it began with humility. He took the first job he could find, a job far beneath the lifestyle he once lived, cleaning floors, carrying boxes, doing the kind of work he once believed was beneath him. But something interesting began happening. The discipline he had once lost slowly began returning. Day by day, week by week, month by month, the man began rebuilding something far more important than money: his character. He saved small amounts, learned to live simply, and slowly, the man who once believed wealth was permanent, he began understanding how fragile it really was. Life has a strange way of rewarding humility. One day, someone noticed his work ethic. A small opportunity appeared, then another, and slowly, the man began rebuilding the business skills he once used to build his fortune. But this time, he was not the same man. Years later, the man would rebuild his wealth, not quickly, not easily, and certainly not in the same way he once had. The homeless man who once sat on that cold sidewalk eventually built another business. His life slowly became stable again. Opportunities returned, but the greatest thing he rebuilt was not his money, it was his character. Because the man who rebuilt his life understood something he had never understood when he was rich. Wealth is not the money you have. Wealth is the discipline that allows you to keep it. The man who once lost everything eventually became successful again, but this time he lived differently. He treated people with respect, he kept his promises, and he never forgot the cold nights when he had nothing. Tell me something. What kind of success is more valuable? The kind that arrives quickly, or the kind that is rebuilt slowly through humility and wisdom? Because sometimes life teaches its greatest lessons in the hardest ways, and sometimes the moment a person loses everything is the moment they finally begin to understand what truly matters. So remember this: wealth built through arrogance can disappear overnight, but wealth rebuilt through humility, discipline, and character can last a lifetime. And the man who once lost everything learned a truth many people never discover. A second chance is often far more valuable than the first success we take for granted.